Home insurance is still a hot topic in Florida. We met with Old Town Insurance in St. Augustine and learned a lot about what you as a home buyer and homeowner need to know. And that is what we're talking about today. So let's get to it. Hello, I'm Kim Devlin. Welcome back to Your Key to St. Augustine. Today we're continuing our in-depth series on home insurance in Florida based on our conversations we had with Old Town Insurance right here in St. Augustine. If you haven't seen part 1, I highly recommend checking it out after this video. So I'll be sure to share it at the end. Please also share any questions you have in the comments below or shoot me an email so I can get those answered for you. In our first video, which I will link at the end of this video, was focused heavily on roofs. And that's because right now that is the #1 thing carriers are looking at. The age and state of your roof are key factors in insurance eligibility. For older homes, ensure you have a wind mitigation or a 4-point inspection report. A roof nearing the end of its lifespan may result in insurance carriers declining coverage. Another critical aspect for Florida homeowners is understanding flood zones. Being in a flood zone, especially AE, can significantly impact insurance rates. Although not mandatory for a quote, obtaining a flood elevation certificate can greatly reduce your rate. If you are in a flood zone and are with Florida's Citizens Insurance, flood insurance is required. So you will absolutely want to invest the few $100s on an elevation certificate, especially if your house has never flooded. Let me give you an example of how this certificate can save you thousands. Old Town Insurance had a customer who wanted to stay with Citizens Insurance. The house was located in flood zone AE, so flood insurance was required. After the initial quote came in at almost $11,000, Old Town encouraged the homeowner to get an elevation certificate. Once he did, the quote came down to $2,000. So as you can see, the cost of a few $100s for an elevation certificate is totally worth it. However, if you live in a flood zone and your home has flooded in the past, your premium will be high. The only real way to mitigate this per Old Town Insurance is by elevating the house, and that is very expensive. Now, there is a strategy to potentially save on flood insurance by utilizing the previous owner's policy. It's known as a glide path. This can offer temporary rate stability for the length of the policy. The rates, of course, will go up at renewal, but the National Flood Insurance Program can only go up 18% a year, so it'll be a more gradual increase. As a homeowner and seller, this can be valuable to a buyer. So it's important to not let your insurance lapse because you cannot reinstate a flood policy. If it has lapsed, you have to start over and will end up having a higher starting premium when you get a new quote. So, what are some other red flags for insurance companies that buyers and sellers need to be aware of? You already know that old roofs are going to be a challenge. So get a wind mitt or a 4-point inspection on older roofs. This is something a homeowner can do as well before listing their property to ensure there is no issue with the home's eligibility for insurance and to avoid any bumps in the road later. Apart from roof condition, problematic plumbing systems like polybutylene and galvanized steel are issues. These two types of plumbing will need to be replaced to be eligible for insurance. If you are interested in historic homes, we have a lot of them in downtown St. Augustine, and they require careful consideration. First question to ask, is the property on the historic registry? These homes can be harder to insure. And remember, any asbestos present in a home can disqualify the home from insurance. When looking at coastal property, each insurance carrier has different guidelines regarding proximity to the coast and wind coverage. The more distant the property from the coast, the more insurance options are available. There are carriers that won't write anything, including wind, on Anastasia Island. Some have a 2-mile buffer to the water. Some want to know how far to tidal water, and that includes the ocean and rivers. So the closer to the coast, the less options you will have for insurance. Let's talk about condos, because most of the communities here have seen their monthly association fees going up due to the rising insurance costs. Insurers evaluate the construction details, roofing, and other factors. Some carriers have specific restrictions, such as not insuring older wood frame buildings or properties over 4 stories. So these are things to consider if buying a condo in Florida. The good news is there are ways to lower your premium. Number 1, a wind mitigation. A wind mitt report includes the shape of the roof, what kind of roof-to-wall connection, clips, tie-downs, etc. A hip roof, for example, gets a better discount. This is a roof where all the sides come down like a pyramid. It gets a better discount because it deflects the wind better. For homes built before 2003, a wind mitigation can unlock discounts on insurance for you. And this becomes crucial for homes over 30 or 40 years old. Number 2, hurricane impact glass windows or hurricane shutters. If you install either of these, it has to be every door and window in order to get the credit. Number 3, good credit. The better your score, the lower your rate will be. 795 and up is the best. For both buyers and sellers, we have prepared checklists on what to consider when it comes to insurance. The insurance landscape is evolving and staying informed is key. So ask the right questions and always seek professional advice. Feel free to send your questions my way, comment below. I always appreciate you tuning in, so thank you for that, and I will catch you next time.